Well, when I do something in this body, then there's a level of judge that shows up. Well, if you were really unattached, you wouldn't be grabbing this. You know, what are you expecting to get by reaching out for anything? So there's a disempowerment of any action in life, of any richness in life, through a judge that's saying there's a shame involved in this.
It's shame. Yes. So shame grabs you.
Often.
Yeah.
After the best of teachers giving me spiritual names that mean shameless.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you lose if you chuck out this shame story? Like really? Don't give a theoretical answer. Really?
I come into this room and sit comfortably in beauty and listen to this is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
And saying, I agree.
Can you dial into that place inside you where that might be true?
It is true. But what sets it for me is to accept this is, so it must be that it is. If this must be, perhaps it's by some divine design, and now I go to another level and say, yes, how do I know this unfoldment isn't perfect for my soul? I have cause to trust it. I have complete cause to trust it. That however is occurring to me, instead of judging if this is good or bad for me, how could I possibly know from the state of ego? That's not who's in charge.
Okay, so that's the narrative that gets you out of it.
That's a narrative that brings me to acceptance of this is.
Okay. Do you use it a lot?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so your habit nowadays then, am I right in saying that it's you run it for a while and you found a way to bring it back to base again?
Yes.
It's shame.
Cool. Yeah, I'll run shame over the smallest act. Yeah, I should be better than this. I should be exercising. You know, I should be.
Yeah.
I should be.
And how fast
That's
do you
shame.
see it? How fast do you see it?
More quickly as I'm kinder to myself and love myself. It's okay to be kind to me.
It's more than okay to be kind to you. It's essential. It's essential. There's enough pain in the world besides adding to it.
Yes.
Be one of the rebels. Be a rebel. Add love, not pain. But that requires courage.
Yes.
It's like you have to defy the habit of a lifetime.
Yes. Maybe lifetimes.
For sure. Can you find the courage for it? That's what we need now. I'm tuning into something.
Can I?
Can you find the courage? Or can you find the balls for it, really? Just can you find the gumption? Can you find the gumption for it?
To do what?
To fly in the face of shame.
No problem in this space.
Okay. Okay. Where does that courage go? In 3 hours' time, where would that courage be? Like, where does it go? You can find it right now, it's no
That's
problem.
interesting. In my body somewhere, it's centered. There's a space, a place in my body, you're saying?
I don't know. I'm wondering how everybody has their own way. For some people, it's through. Really, it's a frequency.
You know, I just discovered that I drive. 3 hours from now, I may be driving, and I just discovered that I drive shamefully, looking for the cop. Wow. Wow. That's not freedom.
No. But you need courage to fly in the face of that. It's like, I see you, Shane. I see you. I see you. Your potency You have so much potency, and you haven't a clue of it. And it's like you're scared of your own potency.
It's true.
You know, and so shame is the thing to dampen you down and put you in your place because you're scared of yourself.
What I might do otherwise.
What you might do otherwise if you were unleashed.
Yeah.
So shame has been the lid
Yeah,
to keep you
it's been
safe.
my parents' bind on me to keep me in place for my own good.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's right. There we go. I'd like to hand that back to them. Done. Done.
Thank you,
Contract
though.
done.
Thank you. Appreciate your
Yeah,
good
yeah.
intention.
Yeah, your good intention, but we're done there now. That contract
Done
is
there.
closed. Off you go.
Done
Take
there.
it back.
Done that.
Done.
And cops are not my enemy.
Not at all. Not at all. They're there to serve you. Your taxes pays them. You're the boss of the cops. Like, find the courage. Flip it. Flip it. But I prefer you to find the courage and not go through the narrative. That's where I'm heading. Can we get you to where you're aligned with courage? Where you have just a pattern of aligning with courage rather than going through the shame, whether it's 30 seconds or 30 minutes, and you're like, darn, I'm doing it again. And then, you know, and then you're going back to acceptance and you're out of it. Okay, can we just stop that whole loop? Can we stop that whole loop and instill courage and autonomy and your own magnificence?
Yes.
All right. Now, whatever you got to do to anchor that in every day, 10 times a day you do it. I don't want to see the shame coming near in order to run a little bit of shame in order to justify finding acceptance. You see? That's what you're doing, like. Being a little bit loyal to some place by running a bit of shame.
And who is it I'm looking to for acceptance? For God, 75 years old. For God's sake.
Yeah. 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 Let's draw a line under it, huh? Gumption. Potency. That's, you just have to align with that. It's like it's your birthright. Like I'm looking at your energy field. Now I don't know if this is appropriate for other people. You've got to figure it out yourselves. But I'm honing in here. Your own energy field has there's this latent thing. You can do it another 4 or 5 lifetimes. We don't mind. We've been sitting here patient for a long time, and it's like, let's line up right now. And you might get it and you might not. Chances are in about 3 years' time you say, I remember Jac O Keeffe saying something about this. Now I can feel what she's talking about. That might be what happens, and that's fine if it does. But don't forget this moment. Don't forget it. It's about you aligning with courage. Autonomy, birthright, no entertaining of anything else. And if the mind says, oh my God, you're going to be like arrogant, you'll be a pure jerk, you'll be, you know, too exposed, you'll be judged, and it's like, bugger off. I hear you. Having none of that. Having none of that. Courage doesn't entertain that garbage. That's shame by the back door. No. So the kind of courage I'm inviting in your energy field has nothing to prove. It has nothing to prove. It's a way of being. It's about you being fully human, fully present, fully embracing your own capability and autonomy. That's what I'm talking about. Claim that. It's no good to anybody else. It's yours. Activate it. Activate it. That's your homework. Activate it. Do you see? You have to remind yourselves, like, what does it feel like? Darren, I can't find it today. I'm gonna look in the mirror, I'm gonna friggin' find it. Come on, find the courage, come on. You know, stuff like that, where you can kind of find where is there courage and autonomy inside, where there is no story at all. Where's my latent potential? Cultivate it. It's like a seed. And I'm saying, look there, it's planted. Water it. Water it. Pull the weeds away from it. It's latent, it's inside you. Let it do its natural thing.
I almost didn't make it through that door. I came late. I'm recording 4 rooms at once. And I didn't know if there was space or if it was too late to come in. The sign on the door said, enter quietly. I said, I can do that. And I said, turn off your phone. I can do that. I entered first, and then I said, no, she's barking. I'm out of here. And I went, and a kind man opened the door and said, come. How much love had to draw me back to be here, to hear this. Thank you. Just to listen to love. Love wants me to know that I am this.
You stay with it, huh? You stay with that courage. You stay with your autonomy. You stay with it. Because the ego will play games, and it's like, bugger off, I'm in charge here. We're done. We're done. Your true nature is, you're seeing it. Love wants you to recognize that that's what you are. You're seeing your true nature.
Yeah, and it's okay if she barks.
Yeah, she's Irish, we bark. I bark.
She's Jack, she barks.
Absolutely, she does bark. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? I've been trying to figure out, as you've been having this conversation, another conversation, exactly what, I understand what you mean by courage, but I'm trying to understand what exactly courage is. And this isn't a word that I tend to use because I don't entirely understand what it is. But as it went on, it just feels like it's, I mean, the only word I can think of to use is frequency. It's sort of a finding of a certain kind of level and holding that. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yes. If you feel it as a frequency, yes. Yes, it really is a frequency. It really is. The non-dual is a frequency. You know, and we can use New Age language and say you're lifting your vibration. They're actually onto something. It is about changing something. Like,
or less about changing it than finding it and
yeah,
holding it,
dialing
and
into
it.
Yeah, it's a dialing in. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Great. Was there another hand up on this side? I saw something. No. Okay. How are you doing?
For me, the courage is to listen for love.
Yes.
Instead of listen for shame and listen for all these conditioned habits, to listen for love takes courage.
Yes. Yes. That's right. It takes huge courage to listen to love. Because you have to have no agenda. You've got to be available. You've got to be open to it. It's very simple.
I don't know what form it's going to take.
You don't know what form it's going to take?
Can't control it.
That's right. That's right.
The courage to give up control.
Uh-huh.
Could you talk a little bit more about what's beyond the non-dual?
Yeah. Can do. I just want to do a quick check-in. If I go into beyond the non-dual right now, it's going to land as concepts. I need to bring the team a bit more into the non-dual, and then I can go there. Is that okay? I know it's just going to come in as intellectual. It's the landing.
Yeah.
You feel that too?
Yes.
Yeah, great, well done. Well done, all right. So I'm just following the leads, you know, I'm just following the next
Breadcrumbs.
the breadcrumbs, yeah. Just listening, you know.
Well, when you talk of any of it being separate, then it starts to be conceptual anyway.
When we talk of what?
Any of it being separate, it starts to become conceptual anyway.
It does, and it's finding the balance between using the concepts, but dialing into what it really means. You know, I'd love to throw out the words and just have the meaning. I really would, and I don't know how to do that. You know. But I love hearing language like, it's a frequency. No, it's like, yes. Because it's
I have a story.
Yeah,
But I think it's kind of counter to what you're saying, but it's actually the same.
okay.
I had a music teacher, and she wanted me to help her with a student. And so I was at the hot summer's day, and I was barefoot and in shorts and playing the piano and waiting for her. She arrives to the student, and she puts some music on the table. And she says, what I want you to do is play this piece with the piano and sing the music. And if you don't mind, can this person put their hand on your chest? I said, no, well, okay. So I started playing and singing along. And I'm noticing that this person is struggling to follow me, to follow my voice. He's slightly out of tune. And then as I'm listening to myself and this other person, I suddenly realized the person's deaf. And that deaf. And that he's learning to tune by feeling the vibration in my chest. And when that happened, and I realized that, suddenly I felt the music in my fingers and music on the floor through my feet. And my voice changed. It went up like this, just like, wow. And suddenly I felt, as I was singing, the full kinesthetic feeling of it. I was tuning into the way he was making music. And I look at my teacher, and she has this big, huge smile on her face. And I realized that I learned something here. There was another way of orienting to the whole thing of music. I had compartmentalized myself so that the feeling aspect was absent. And you were talking about bringing to bear everything. So at that moment, when with a student, I realized, wow, he just taught me through his mechanism how to become fully alive and to experience the music.
Yes.
And it was just transcendental, the experience.
Yes.
So it was control, but it was another kind of control, another kind of frequency that I tuned into, and another way of orienting that integrated my whole music making
Absolutely.
experience.
Yeah. That's the whole point, is that you embodied the music and the music was you. And did you feel like you were the piano or you were the music? Did the instrument, did it happen on the physical also?
I disappeared and it was just music. It
Just
was
the
just the music making.
Yeah.
In fact, there was no me, there was no,
Yeah.
it was just,
That's right.
and that
Yeah.
was, and
Yeah.
that's happened in so many other areas in dancing and in swimming and the
Yeah.
same kind of
Yeah.
transfer, kind of an Escher effect where suddenly, one more if you don't mind, I'll tell you another story.
Yeah.
I had death fear of water because as a small child I was walking down by the beach and a wave tried to gobble me up and take me out. So I never really learned to swim. So in college I decided, well, it's time to face my fear about swimming. And so what happens is I take a 16-week course and can't even swim across the half section of the pool. But I just go through the motions and then decide to watch the swim team's videos. And I'm talking myself through and everything and all this kind of stuff and gradually building up strength and all this, again, at the degree of control. And then I said, well, I should do some yoga beforehand too, get more body awareness and all this. Anyway, about 8 weeks into it, I jumped into the water and I forgot my dialogue about what I'm supposed to do and everything. And at that point, I just glided through the water, and it was as if the water was using me to go through it, and it was the most sensuous experience. The fear had gone, and it was just settling and being present with the water. And it's very similar to the music experience, being hyper rational and then transcending that into something deeper.
You're no longer the subject.
And at that point again, it wasn't me swimming; it was the water that was using me to swim through. So many experiences like that. That shift. Where suddenly I was in control, not in control. Something else was being played out. So as I'm listening to you about this tuning in and all this, and about what prevents you from being fully present, those experiences, kind of like a self-honesty, introspection, start coming up. And I'm remembering, that fits with what she's saying. That fits what she's saying. That fits. And,
Good. Yeah, you're finding a place for it. Yeah.
Because as you say, it could be just language unless you have something to put in the will to be.
I think the invitation here is to is the meaning. Find the frequency where I'm talking about. I don't want to give a concept at all. That's not what this is about. But I know there's skill. Gotta talk. It's where it's at. But it's deeper than the words. Feel into what I'm talking about. That's the greatest gift you can take out of this. Feel into it. And if you can't say what this workshop is about, it's been a success. Do you know? If you can't put together the words I don't know what she was talking about, she just barked a bit. It's great, great, wonderful, I love it. Yeah. I remember once doing a plant medicine. It was San Pedro with the shaman, and we were walking around this fire for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours out of our trees. But it was hard work, a lot of puking and crying and all the rest that goes along with these deep healing works that happen on the shamanic path. And as we were coming to and the dawn was coming up, so with the San Pedro style, you walk in one direction to unwind, and at a certain point, maybe about half an hour before dawn, you walk the other direction, and it's like you're coming back together again. And so as I was coming back, I was like, wow. And this is what used to happen to me a lot in ayahuasca and those ceremonies, was I just need to frigging remember this. I just need to remember this. Every time I, go into these sacred spaces, I totally remember the last one. I'm like, of course I know all this. And then the curtains come down, and I know I saw some fantastic things, and I know I understood things, but I can remember 2 or 3, and I know there must have been loads. I know there was, but I can't remember. It's gone again. And this time, the coming back in was really slow. And as a result, I never forgot after that. It's the bridge happened. There wasn't the dual and the non-dual. The Jac story and the absolute. The division was getting much, much softer. And how it happened was, as we were coming back in, and there was just wisdom, and I understood the spiritual dimension of the universe, and I knew it was all about love, but it was just clear that all of separation is just created by concepts, all of it. It was just very clear. I could have given a non-dual lecture. And as I was walking around, my body would go, it would this density. It's something that was lifted up by suspenders was just plop. And I was feel, oh my God. And I was starting to feel really aware of my physical weight. I was oh my God, the density. And as it was falling in, there was, you're looking for something from that person that you're friends with. It's full of manipulation. You want them to like you. I'm oh my God, that's playing. Oh my God, that's why I did it not right. That's right. One after the next, after the next, after the next. Every drop in was the codes of what I had yet to heal were coming back one by one, one by one. And it was a falling out. Oh, hi. My goodness me. Yes, I can see it now. Can somebody, whose alarm is beeping there? Oh, it stopped. Great. Thanks. So one by one, the pieces that I couldn't sustain, that I hadn't healed, I got a break from them. But it's like, do. There you go. You're not done with that. Do. You know, and it's like, oh no, how many more are going to come back? How many more are going to come back? You know, and it was like, okay, it's really clear. It's really clear. I've got a shitload more work to do. And there's about 15 different thud. Here, take that lump of coal, thud on your back. You know, and I was losing the frequency that I had dialed into on the non-dual. I was like getting denser and denser and denser. I was the same weight, but the feeling was of like the heaviness, you know. And for me it was heaviness, and I know it would be for somebody else like, oh, there's another string of a corset, pulled tighter, you know, contraction of some sort, density forming of some sort. So I'm telling you that story so that you can maybe find another way to taste where is it in you that your true nature is. Because this gentleman found his true nature. He was talking from his true nature. You know, and courage was the in that we found. You see? And for you it's the arts, where something was, oh my God, something else is the subject. It's not me at all. And my form is just incidentally being played by all of it. You see? I'm paraphrasing, but just to give another example. Find the frequency of the non-dual inside you. Find that frequency. Dial into it. Dial into it. Because one way, of course, is, you know, you wake up in the morning and you're in your dual state, you know, and you meditate, you might get a little bit of a window, or you're driving and you might get a bit of a window, a bit of a break from it. But what if you were to find a way of dialing in, of finding that frequency of your true nature? It's another way entirely. And it's following that path of meaning, you know? It's following that subtle layer inside. It's kind of, I suppose I could say energetic. I could probably use 10 different words, but it's much more subtle. So I want you to take a moment to be aware of your breathing. Just notice yourself pulling in air. Just naturally, you know, your lungs are doing it. But just be aware of it. And releasing air. Find the frequency of where air is what's in charge. That air is causing your lungs to expand and contract. Find the frequency of where you are being breathed. Don't go to your imagination. Find the frequency. Find it where that is actually the truth. If you can't find it, it's okay, but if you can, it's a beauty. It means you have to dissolve. You're no longer the subject. It's not you and the world. The other thing is playing you. Something much bigger is playing you. So if you can't, let's contain it a little bit. Let's say the room is breathing you. That might be easier to manage. It's the same thing. It means you're not the subject. The room is breathing you. It's deciding how much air goes in and goes out. You can find it, obviously. You find the frequency of where the room is in charge of how much air comes in and goes out. The truth is, you don't have agency at all. You don't have volition. You're not deciding a darn thing. Really, you're not. Consciousness is doing you. It's breathing you. We'll start there. It's breathing you. It's doing all of you. But if you can find the frequency of where it's breathing you, okay, now you've found the station. It's a little bit crackly, but you found the radio station. So that's a good exercise to take away with you. The room, or the car, the enclosed space where you are, let something be breathing you. So you're not interfering with your breath, you're letting your breath be ordinary, but you're no longer the subject. The little I is gone. It's gone. And you're going into unity consciousness. Simple as that. But I need you to find the zone, because if you can feel it and like, oh my God, that is how it happens. That shift in perspective is what waking up is. It's a shift in perspective, that's all it is.
Can you say, Jack, just breathing's happening here? There's not even a subject.
Yeah, you can say, when the room is breathing you, there's no subject either.
Yeah, so there's no room, there's no subject. It's just breathing is happening.
So if there's no room and there's no subject, so you're getting it wider than this space, right? And then breathing is happening. Okay. Yes, but not everybody in the room can hold that right now. So if you can, if you've got a good handle on the room is breathing you, let's go to what Richard is saying, and that breathing. No, it's not. No, too many people aren't going to get it. I don't want to screw it up. I need you to establish where you're at. Establish where you're at. And if you caught what Richard was saying, then fine. But I need the group to come. I don't know why, but there we go. So you're in the non-dual lens of perception. That is the awakened state. If something is breathing you and you have there's no controller, if you really get that, oh yeah, this form isn't the main picture at all, actually. Oops, I'd have to engage my mind to imagine that I'm doing it. Is that making sense? Great. That's the non-dual lens of perception. So action happens without me. There you can say there's no doer. There really is no doer. Does that make sense? There's no doer there. Now from no doer, then we can go to what Richard was talking about. From no doer, well, breathing is just happening. It's just being breathed. Just breathing is just an action. It's just going on. Can you find that?